Go ahead.
Okay, we made it clear. It's in your papers. It's in your docket. Okay? Here's what the motion says. Count 1 of the accusatory pleading. Defendant Jason Garza demurs to the accusations of the pleadings filed. In this case, on the following grounds. Count 1 of the accusatory pleading does not satisfy the requirement of Penal Code Section 950 and 952.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
In that the defendant, here's where it says, did not record the confidential communications of a third party. Okay, that's your first basis. That is what you asked the court to rule on.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No, that's what you asked them to rule on. I was
Because that's
asking
what
for
you
due process to rule that, that basically once they found that I'd done nothing wrong, that they would be held accountable.
So hold on. Count 2 of the accusatory pleading do not satisfy the requirements of Penal Code Section 950 and 952.
Were they held accountable?
Because he was never instructed by any manager or peace officer to leave the premises.
Were they held accountable?
Yes, because
They were?
let me tell you how.
How?
And it might not be how you want it, but it is.
How were they accountable?
Now that they've taken these charges to court,
Yes.
and now that they know that they cannot get past pretrial motions, no DA will file, even if they arrest you. No DA will file the charges
Wonderful.
anymore.
Will any DA file charges against them for denying me and enforce them to give me my medical care and everything else?
I
So
don't
what
know.
I'm seeking will never happen regardless.
I don't know what.
Correct or
I don't
false?
know I don't know what the DAs will do, but I can tell you that how I know them, I think that they're not going to do that.
Well, of course not. But in the meantime, everything that I've sought, which is to protect my rights, has been jerry-rigged by this system. I still, if I go back, they could still arrest me as opposed to having to provide the services that's required under law. The officer perjured himself. How long do I have to wait for them to bring up a case against the officer, or do I go file a police report, which they won't take? Do I go to the Sheriff's Investigation Unit, which I've done, and they haven't responded back to me on what's going on? I mean, are we just going to continue to play this game and try to pacify me, the innocent, vindicated victim?
I am not trying to pacify you. I'm trying to answer your questions. And I'm trying to show you what I did.
I know what you did.
Good lawyers don't say, I'm not going to file motions. I'm going to expose my client to actual jail time and a conviction. What good lawyers say is, I'm going to fight every inch of the way for my client. And I'm going to try to get that conviction, which will ruin his life, to not happen.
Oh, now let me ask you, by me not having my health care, by me still, being able to be falsely arrested, is that not ruining my life?
But I didn't do that. And I had nothing to do with that.
Well, that's correct. You didn't do that. The agency that did was the sheriff's office. I came to you when they falsely arrested me, provided you with the video which cleared me.
Right.
And, I'm still sitting here. If I go back, they can still do it all over again. So where is my justice?
And I can't answer that question. I've
Who
told you
can?
that.
Do I
Not
go to the
anybody.
DA? Do I go to the court?
Not anybody.
Well, is it unrational for me to want justice? And,
Absolutely not. That's what I want.
So that's my point. If it's not unreasonable and nobody can answer my question, who has the problem?
Our
Me?
government has the problem. Write him a petition. Call your governor.
Would that be like going to the FBI Director Comey, who, after he stated all the reasons that Hillary was guilty, said, however, no reasonable prosecutor would take this? I mean, here are the facts. Now, if I try to go and find a civil rights attorney for my illegal arrest, where does this paperwork say it was an illegal arrest?
He'll understand the statute, which is, if you read your motion, that is what the court ruled. Look at what the court ruled.
Okay, I know what the court
Plea,
ruled.
not guilty, not guilty. Found.
Not guilty. Oh, wonderful. So what about, like I said, if I'm not guilty, what about the 4 days? What about the perjury from the officer?
Exactly. Then you go to a civil lawyer who will sue them.
And if I can't find one because justice is for the rich, then what? It just falls by the wayside and you just got away with it because, that guy was poor. He didn't have any money to find a lawyer. Oh, we screwed him again.
look, so I can't represent you
I wasn't asking for that.
in a civil proceeding. I can only represent every time. I promise you, every time you come, if you ever get arrested, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna help you. Because
Well, I understand the analogy. You're going to help me if I get arrested, just like I was helped this last time. The question is, what changed? Was any of my rights protected?
Yes.
No. I still, if I go, they can arrest me again.
You could still say and stand here and say, I have never been convicted of any criminal offense, even though the government has wielded all its power against you. It did.
You mean the 4 times I've been arrested, the 4 times I've been denied medical care. Now, will you go with me down there to, if I go in again and say, I want my medical care and I'm recording my own medical care? Or will I just have to go and face them all on my own, get rearrested?
So this is what you got to do, Jason, okay? When you go over there, you got to say, you got to play nice with them.
I'm sorry, may I what?
May I record my own medical treatment?
And if they say no?
Then they're gonna say no, right?
Okay, then what?
Then you say, okay, that's an accommodation that I have. Will you
And
not
if
follow
they
that
say no?
accommodation?
They've done it already. I was videotaping my doctor. He told me no more, and they've never gotten back to me no, it didn't work. It's on YouTube.
People don't like to get recorded, right?
I don't like to have the law broken. What's your point?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
I'm not breaking the law by recording. They're breaking the law by not providing the services.
You don't break the law, but by not recording your own.
Correct. And are they breaking the law by not providing the services?
But you can't record in the lobby. Because some people.
I can't record in the lobby if I'm recording somebody else's health care. The lobby is a public place.
But what they don't like is that, right? So they're gonna talk to you.
No, that's not what they don't like.
Yeah.
What they don't like is me recording them and asking them all the hard questions which they can't answer, which they fucked me around consistently, and it's on video, and they did it again. The doctor has told me that I can't go in because, he's not going to allow me to record. They came up with that bogus policy, which I showed you,
Exactly.
with the HIPAA thing. It's still there. It's still a bogus policy. Now what?
I can't help you with that. I can go with you to the clinic, but they're not gonna.
Okay. So when we go and they deny me, what are you going to do? Because at that point, I have the ability. Are you going to say, no, you must enforce these rights, or what? Or are they going to falsely arrest me again?
Jason, I can't do that because, look, I am a public defender. I am a criminal defense attorney.
Well, what happened to me, to be honest with you, was criminal. It still is criminal. My rights have all been evaded, and they're still being evaded. And now, you're not even offering me any hope, because if I go back, they can do it again.
But there's nothing I can do about that, right?
Well, who can?
I don't know who can.
Well, Jesus, I've been falsely arrested, falsely accused. This is the 4th time it's happened. Finally, we went to court to prove that they were fucking me, and now nobody can do anything about it. And I'm supposed to be pleased with that. Because now, when I still need my health care...
I don't want you to be pleased. All I want you to know is that if you have questions about your case, I'll answer them, right?
No, you have, and this is not against you.
But
this has never been against you. This is about me still not getting...
I know, and
then if you know...
It breaks my heart, but it's there's so many...
That's wonderful. It breaks your heart. I'm sitting at home sick, ill.
But there's so many things that I can't handle it. You
can't handle it. Can you imagine me 4 years of this crap and it's still going on? And me asking all the right questions. I think I asked you all the right questions when this first started. Yeah. I think I even told you that this was the bullshit game they were going to play later on.
Yeah, you did.
I did. So everything I've said has always been the truth.
And I agreed with you.
So if you've agreed that it's all rigged and we're going into this shoot of rigged procedure, then who has the problem? Me or the system that's throwing me into a rigged procedure that's unaccountable?
Well, the system does, right?
Well, thank you. And in the meantime, who's getting screwed out of their rights? Thank you, me. So, if they're just going to do it again the next time I go down, who in their right mind would continue?
Go to a different clinic. Where can you go to a different clinic, Jason?
You mean any clinic that has to do with the Department of Public Health? I've been to that. Castro #1, and the sheriff's person has locked me out because the sheriff has a $12 million MOU with the Department of Public Health to provide security, not to enforce the law.
I know.
All right, so why isn't somebody going against the sheriff and saying, "Excuse me, you're breaking the law by not enforcing it. This should not happen. This $12 million MOU to circumvent people's rights shouldn't be here." How come nobody's brought that up?
I don't know why anybody has brought that up.
I
don't
have
know.
repeatedly, and I get knocked down because I'm the crazy one. I can show you. I went today to the sheriff's office. I could play you the video of how they played me and everything else, and it's basically it's your fault. Blah 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 blah. I asked them about the perjury. I asked them about all these things. They couldn't answer any questions. It's amazing that no matter where I go.
Have you filed the complaints against them or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. At least.
And did I follow up, and have they given me any satisfaction, or are they waiting for the statute of limitations to run out? Would you like for me to answer that question?
If you want to.
The answer is they're waiting for the statute of limitations to run out, which is what I told them on video that they were going to do.
I know, Jason, look.
I know, I'm the one with the adjustment disorder. I'm the one that's all fucked up. I'm the one that's always wrong. Being dead, let me say it again, dead, let me say it for a third time, dead right.
You are right.
So what good is being right in a society?
Where nobody listens, right?
Not only that, the dignity, the humanity. There's no due process for me. There's no dignity for me. There's no health care for me. There's no court assistance for me. There's nada except continual con jobs and go over here, go over there. That's not our responsibility. We don't do that. It's parsed to fail.
It is.
And it fails repeatedly. So who has the problem? Me
Have
or
you
the
gone to
system?
Bay Legal or no?
Hold on a second. Let me turn this off.